Hey, what's up, Toyota Tundra pickup truck enthusiasts? Today we're taking a closer look at your Toyota Tundra, specifically its coil spring suspension and what that means for you. Unlike traditional pickup trucks, the Toyota Tundra has a great ride quality, and that's because it comes equipped right out of the factory with a coil spring suspension. This suspension setup is great for ride quality and makes your truck feel more like a family vehicle than a traditional pickup truck. But this ride quality comes at a cost. While the coil springs are great for ride quality, they definitely fall short when it comes time to tow and haul. That's where aftermarket helper spring systems like Timbren SES suspension enhancement system and airlift airbags come into play. Helper springs will keep your truck level when towing and hauling. It won't just impact the ride and handling when you're behind the wheel, but will also drastically improve the safety of your truck when you're towing a trailer. Helper springs will keep your truck level when towing and hauling, which won't just impact the ride and handling when you're behind the wheel, but are also drastically going to improve the safety of your truck when you're towing a trailer. The question is, how do you know which helper spring product to run on your Toyota Tundra pickup truck? Well, that answer may vary depending on what you're doing. So we're gonna give you a side-by-side comparison of these two products, and by the end of this video, you're gonna know which helper spring system you're gonna run on your truck. First, let's talk numbers. The airlift airbag system can handle up to 7,500 pounds of capacity. The Timbren SES suspension enhancement system, on the other hand, steps it up to 8,600 pounds. That's 1,100 extra pounds of capability. But it's not just about the weight. There are other factors that we need to consider here too. Airbag suspensions or airbag helper springs like airlift have pressurized air inside them, and maybe even an internal bump stop if you're going for a higher end unit and you're willing to shell out some extra cash. But the big drawback of an airbag system is what I like to call the U factor. See, these systems are great, but they are only as good as the air that you do or don't put in them. Every time you hook up a trailer or haul a heavier load around in your truck, you need to appropriately apply the correct amount of air to your airbags. And because of this, they don't provide a progressive spring rate. A progressive spring rate is kind of like having a smart helper spring system. The more weight you apply to the system, the more it works to keep your truck level, safe, and ride smooth. Like I said, airbag helper spring systems like Airlift's Load Lifter series don't provide a progressive spring rate. The amount of air you apply is it. And the more air you apply, the stiffer they become, making the ride more and more uncomfortable. Timbren SES, however, does come packed with a progressive spring rate so that you don't ever have to think about how much air to add or not add. Some users really like the flexibility of airing up or airing down with airbags. And if that's you and you have the money burning a hole in your pocket, a system like Airlift's Load Lifter system is a great choice. But for those of you who want a set it and forget it system that you install once and never think about again, Timbren SES suspension enhancement systems are definitely the right choice. The next thing that we need to look at is the durability of each of these products. The last thing you want to do is install a high maintenance needy system on your Tundra that ends up becoming more work than it was worth. I'll keep this one short. Timbren SES suspension enhancement systems are virtually bulletproof. Airlift airbags or any other airbag helper springs for that matter are useless if you get so much as a pinprick in the airbags, because they're gonna leak air. So unless you're really babying your kit, airbags may not be for you. If you take your truck anywhere with things that could puncture your airbags, like a campsite, construction site, farm, and so on, then you may wanna reconsider running airbags. So for durability, Timbren takes the crown. The other piece that we need to consider is the cost of these units. Let's be honest, in these times of rising inflation, gas prices, and so on, you don't want to spend any more money than is necessary. An airbag system like the Airlift Load Lifter system can start to run a hefty bill. Once you have the airbags, compressor, controller, and you've got it installed, you're likely looking down the barrel of a $2,500 bill. Timbren SES, however, will run you little over $300. That's $2,200 in money saved and kept in your pocket. Now, this wouldn't be a complete guide to picking out helper springs for your Toyota Tundra if we didn't talk about ride quality. Like I said earlier, your truck has a great ride quality from the factory, and we don't want to do anything to mess around with that. So you need a system that is going to provide you the suspension support you need without tampering with the ride quality. Airbag helper springs need to run a minimum of 5 PSI at all times. And even that minimal amount of air in the bags is going to change the ride of your Toyota Tundra. That's a big setback for these airbags. Timbren has designed their SES kits to sit roughly 1 inch off the axle when your Toyota Tundra is not being used for towing or hauling. Now, this is intentional so that your unloaded ride quality of your truck doesn't get tampered with whatsoever. But once you decide to hook up a trailer or a heavy load, they simply sit down that 1 inch and begin to do their thing, eliminating suspension sag and improving your ride quality. Furthermore, Timbren SES kits utilize patented AEON rubber spring technology that act as a shock absorber, delivering a smoother ride when you're towing. Ever towed a trailer over a rough road or train tracks? Timbren SES kits are going to smooth out those harsh bumps and slams that you've experienced in the past. And ease of installation? Timbren wins here too. Unlike complicated airbag suspension installs like Airlift's Load Lifter series, which may even require professional help, the Timbren suspension install is designed for a more straightforward DIY approach that can be done in your driveway with basic hand tools. The last thing that we need to look at is the warranty and money-back guarantee. Timbren's suspension enhancement systems come with a lifetime warranty for as long as you own your Toyota Tundra and a 100-day money-back guarantee. Airlift airbags also come with a lifetime warranty, but if you plan on using one of their compressors, those only come with a 2 or 4 year warranty depending on which one you run, and they only come with a 60-day money-back guarantee. So whether you're cruising down the highway or hauling heavy loads, understanding the strengths and weaknesses of your Toyota Tundra's coil spring can make all the difference. So if you've got a little extra cash in your pocket and you like the idea of being able to air up and air down, you like that flexibility, Airlift's airbags are a great option for you. But if you're trying to keep costs down and you want a set it and forget it solution that doesn't need to be played with or messed with every time you tow and haul, Timbren SES suspension enhancement systems are the right kit for you. Thanks for sticking with us. Let us know your thoughts and what helper spring system you choose to run on your Toyota Tundra in the comments below, and we'll see you later.